Welcome again, friends, and today's topic is Portuguese knives. To be honest, not all of them. I'll do another video on all kinds of Portuguese knives. I have a few here on the table just for quick comparison and examples. Today I'll focus on this specific kitchen knife. It's actually a kitchen knife which I recently brought from Portugal. It's made in Portugal by ICEL, is one of the factories which make a lot of knives. And this one's happened to be a kitchen knife, nothing super specific to Portugal, but the thing why I wanted to talk about it is primarily quality of this knife. It's a relatively fresh addition to the different kitchen knife types which this specific factory produces, and I really like it. And within this video I'm gonna jump straight into the point why I like this knife, why I purchased that, where I purchased that, price, and so on. What are your other options over there? Quickly compare it with another knives of the same category, and different again options which you have to choose. I'll go through what I like about this knife, what I don't like about this knife. I actually did use it for a little bit already, and we'll get to the final conclusion. I will give you my recommendations on that, my feelings, and again, stay with me. I tend to talk a lot about the knives. This one is not gonna be super long video comparing to some other ones which I'm doing, but hope you will find it interesting, especially looking at this very modern implementation of a kitchen knife, which I noticed pretty much only from this vendor. And again, jumping straight into the point, it is this handle. Take a look. It's a beautiful single piece micarta handle. It's not G10. It doesn't look like a real super thin layer G10. It's like a thicker layers. It's micarta, micarta, whatever you call it. But take a look at the fitting. First of all, the stock for the knife is not super thin for the kitchen knife. It's decent. It's like 3.5 millimeters. First of all. Second, they take this stock, it becomes a tank. It's a full tank knife. It's a single piece of metal, but the handle, the way it's done, it goes, I'll try to show it from different angles here. It goes into the groove in micarta, and it's really nice tight fit. And micarta handle is again as a single piece with a beautiful milled spine. Here you see the micarta layers on both sides. So that's the way the knife is constructed. There's no bolsters, and we'll talk about that in a moment. There's another knife with the bolsters. There's no bolster which goes down to the cutting edge. This specific knife is Santoku style kitchen knife. As you can see, it has all kinds of markings here. Again, I'll talk a little bit more about them. Made in Portugal, model number, high carbon, no stain steel, X15 CRMOV, X50 CRMOV 15. Maker ICEL Portugal. They have this nice X on the as a like a logo for the for all of their knives. And then the Douro Gourmet is the series of the knife. So what it is, first of all, what is the Douro Gourmet? It's a line of knives from ICEL named after the Douro region of Portugal. It's North Portugal, like as north as Porto. a little bit west, no, sorry, east from Porto. Porto is on the Atlantic Ocean, and also the river is called Douro River, and this region produces a lot of grapes for both port wines and for table wines, or for your vintage wines, whatever. So that's the packaging for the knife. It just goes in there. It's cardboard. What is nice about this package, it tells you all kinds of knife options you can get in this specific series. So starting from a smaller, like a peeling knife, vegetable knives, up to some more specific larger knives like carving knives, like a fork, hamon knife, or slicing knife, whatever it is. And then the largest one would be chef's knives. They actually have two options. They have really like a large one and a medium sized one, and then they have this Santoku knife. That's the one which I got. I also had some experience with the chef's knives from this brand. Very, very similar construction. The one which I had was so-called 210 millimeters, and then I have like 250 millimeters, like a really, really large kitchen knife, which I personally believe is not necessary for me. So I would recommend, if you want a good kitchen knife, this one. If you like Santoku style knives, or the similar sized chef's knives would be really, really good. As for the other ones, yes, of course, I would recommend them, just based on the quality, just based that it's on a quality that it's made out of German steel. They don't make their own steel, or maybe they do some for some other knives, but in reality, for those knives, they use a German steel, and then they make those really nice Micarta handles, which is actually primarily why I got it. So let's take a closer look at the knife itself. Let's take a look at some of the comparison of this knife to like why I got it, what I'm getting as a result, and then again we'll get into some recommendations. As for a description from a vendor, yep, it's what they say: modern knives, lifetime warranty, ergonomic handle of Micarta, and so on. And by the way, I'll get you straight to the point how much this knife is gonna cost you. MSRP is about 50 euros for this knife, but in Lisbon, in Portugal, if you go to this specific store, it will be 40 something euros. Actually, significant difference. And then if you get somewhere also, it will be 40 something up to 50, so you'll get it a little bit cheaper than MSRP. You can order it online from manufacturer, from ICEL. Then you would unfortunately have to pay full price for this knife, and if you order to US, there will be some shipping cost. So let's say you look at my review, you say, I love it, I really, really like this knife, I want to order a few of those, maybe something else from their website, and I'll show you something else as well. And then $50 shipping from Portugal wouldn't be that much, but I would still say comparable quality kitchen knife from another good quality manufacturers would cost you still way, way more. That's why I think it's incredible value. It's very good quality, a modern construction. As I said, Micarta, you will not find Micarta handle on a kitchen knife. I think, okay, from a good manufacturer with good quality, easily similar knife will cost you $100. This one is less than 50 still, but more rare. unfortunately. So, okay. I think I said the most important stuff in this video already. If you want me to continue, well, I will continue. If you want to listen me continuing all of these kinds of comparisons and suggestions, please do. If not, as I said, I gave you all the most important information of this knife. It does have a little bit of quality control issues, which are absolutely fine. I'm okay with those for the price paid. It's gonna be a great knife for the kitchen. If you like either this style Santoku, if you like this style, there's knife like this. This is Wusthof, which I actually brought just for comparison of build quality, of durability, and so on. And that's where I'm gonna go next. So before we do that, this one's not really big knife. As you see, I'm just trying to put the measurement tape next to that. So, for example, this one is Wusthof, which is like a smaller one. The chef's knives from this Douro 21 21 centimeters, so 200 millimeters would be a little bit longer. It will be like this much longer blade comparing to this Wusthof and this blade. 25 would be really like a super large one. Again, if you like those large ones, get it. It's gonna cost you pretty much the same price, but it will be way like a kind of big of a knife for your kitchen. So first of all, let's talk about how it's done, like a classic knife versus classic European knife versus this one. With most of the classic European knives, what they're trying to do, they try to say, yeah, we have a good forged bolsters on those knives. Like here. In here, there's no bolster. It's just a plain metal and a handle. Is it good or is it bad? Your preference. From my point of view, as long as the bolster just stays up, it doesn't go to the bottom, to the heel of a blade, I'm fine with this, because it's a little bit more nicer solution from a point of view that there's no gap here where most of the food would go up the blade when you slice with this knife. It's super easy to clean. This area is typically like, well, especially if you do like a pinch grip, it will be covered by your fingers and you have less food going into the gaps here. And by the way, there will be gaps. Doesn't matter the material, doesn't matter what good quality fitting and glue. With the time, there will be gaps, and it's better to have gaps as far as possible from the area of contact with the food. With this specific construction, your gaps or your fittings between two different materials are right here. There's no real bolster. You still can do a really nice pinch grip in here. It's actually quite good for the pinch grip. So washing this knife, you gotta be super picky about this area. Definitely wash it through and make sure there's nothing stays here, to make it absolutely good and clean. You can do it for sure. Those both knives are made out of the same steel. This is a Germany produced knife. This is a Portugal produced knife from the same steel, X50 CR MOV 15. But this knife is over 10 years old. And again, this knife is not gonna replace this one. It's just, again, for comparison, classic shape versus Santoku shape. Different construction of the handle, same steel, and kind of what to expect from the steel. Probably, if you don't know, this steel is like a typical for kitchen knives. You may get German kitchen knives, French kitchen knives out of the same Germany produced steel. You can get IKEA knife of the same steel, same markings, same label, I'm not sure if it's produced of the German steel, which is made in Germany, or it's same steel composition produced in China somewhere. Don't know. I have a IKEA knife of the same steel. I actually don't like performance of that knife comparing to this knife, but I'm no expert to say that yeah, it's not that good of a steel, or it's something else which doesn't make it up to the Germany produced knife. I'm not sure, but I expect out of this knife many years of service. Also, what you can see in a difference between this knife and this knife, first of all, is no rear bolster here, like in here. Yeah, just different construction. And second thing, which I think is very interesting to see how it's gonna handle itself, there's no pins which go through the handle to kind of firmly affix it to the tang. And that's again what I really like about this knife. There's no pins. Those pins are not gonna fade or decay like in here. And as I said, it's more than 10-year-old knife, and those pins are made out of different metal, and you see they discolorated. All right, so that's it for comparison with this knife. And actually, the reason why I bought this knife is just not for collecting purposes. It's for replacing this knife, which I had for, I think, more than 15 years. It's not a very good quality knife. It's a KitchenAid brand, which most likely is made in China, but I did use it for a while. Again, my primary cooking knives would be European style chef's knives, like the previous one. By the way, I missed something on that one. If you're thinking about stainless steel, it says high carbon, no stain. Does it say something like this here? No, it says classic, icon. This one 16 centimeter, Zollingen, Germany, whatever. But this is stainless steel, but in reality, there's only few truly stainless steels. You can see stains on this knife everywhere. If you take a closer look, especially in here, those are stains, because where I live, in my house, I have a well water. It's really hard and kind of harsh. Everything stains. Everything. This is a stainless steel. It stains. This is the same stainless steel. It will stain a little bit unless I take really good care of that. And again, I'll see how it lasts. Another thing I forgot to show you. Douro wine. This one's red wine from 2017. Really good one. And I hope this knife will last as good as the wines. It's a good wine. I really liked it. I brought it from Portugal. I don't know if it's for sale in the US or whatever. Good, unoaked, really nice and modern taste for this wine. My recommendation, together with a knife. Back to the knife. So I do use Santoku style knife also as a secondary choice when I gotta slice a lot of like a large wedges, because it has this, one more time for comparison, different profile of the blade. So this one I can use for more like a rocking style of cuts with this portion of the blade. This one is less curved, so I would use more like a push cuts with this towards the cutting board. And this one is somewhere in between. It has a more like a flat portion of the blade in here, like a straight portion, and then some like a curve here, so I can do rocking moves quite easily with this knife. And again, as I said, this knife is going to replace this one. This knife goes away from a kitchen. It did serve its years. Recently, this plastic chipped off, and I immediately start seeing the rust in those gaps, and that's what I don't want to happen with this knife again. And I hope Micarta will last better than the plastic. And by the way, also this knife, you can see there's like a rust spots from a normal care. I wipe them clean after use regularly. I don't leave them wet. I don't like washing my knives in the dishwasher. Some knives, sometimes I do wash in dishwasher, not the main chief's knives. Some other knives, which I've told you about, I do wash them in the dishwasher in a special container. Those ones I do care quite well. Also, the reason why I want to substitute this knife with something else is that it chipped. I have, I don't know if you can see it, there's a crack in here, there's a smaller crack up the spine, there are a few hits on this knife from just a cutting, like a force cutting for something, I don't know what, which I kind of, when I resharpen it, they still don't go away. They still stay, especially the chips around the crack. They would never go away because the metal keeps cracking when I try to resharpen around this area. So this knife's gotta be retired. It's gotta be retired, and of course it's a little bit worse steel, even comparing to X50 steel over here. So that's what I hope from this knife is gonna replace this one and work together with another chef knives and this one in my kitchen. And again, I like to cook. I can do it quite well. Can sharpen it, can take care of the knives, and so on. Few minor things which I don't like about this knife. First of all, is it has some quality issues. Not perfect fitting of the handle in here. I can see that there might be some gaps just right here. Second thing is those cutoffs. They're not even. As you can see on both sides, they're not exactly matching each other. And the third and the most disappointing one is that they did not grind this heel of a blade to be a little bit curved this way. What I mean by this is that I did cook with this knife, as I said. I do the pinch grip and like rocking moves, and when I finish this move, it hits with the whole length of the blade towards the cutting board, but because it's not ground super perfectly straight here, it has like a tiny bit of recurve here. First of all, it wouldn't cut the wedges or whatever I'm cutting, and second, this heel just makes a big hit, boom boom boom, when I do the rocking moves, and that I didn't like. But I'll regrind it. I'll grind off a little bit here. I'll make it a little bit more either straight or curved here, so it will go a little bit further when I work with this knife, and it should be fine. It's not that hard of a steel to grind. So other than that, I'm super excited about the quality of the handle. I really like the look. It's very convenient. The balance is good. The pinch grip is good. By the way, one more thing for the camera. Do you see that's a little bit uneven on both sides? But it's even better on this side for the finger. I can hold it quite well. So that's your all of the information which I wanted to share about this knife. Again, I do highly recommend you cannot find the same value, same price for more or less modern kitchen knife with micarta handle, good material, good quality construction. I still call it good, even with those small issues here and there. It's a good quality construction. Other knives will have more issues if you buy those. And that would be it. Enjoy cooking, enjoy knives, take care of your knives, enjoy different regional varieties of whatever you can get. And that will be my final picture for the video, with a bottle of wine, with a couple more Portuguese knives, which I will do in a different video. I'll do a review of those in a different video. And how about that? Fish knife. You interested to see this? I'll do the video about it. How about that? Guitar knife. I'll do the video about it. Again, maybe just I'll combine those both. And as you can see, this one is made by ICEL. This one's made by ICEL too. It's a really good manufacturer, and we'll talk about those knives later on. This one is MAM Portugal. This one is Martins Portugal. But that's it. That's all I have from Portugal. All my Portuguese knives are now on the table, together with a bottle of good Portuguese wine. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below if you have any other experience with Portuguese made knife, or you can recommend something for me for my collection or for the usage. I'd be happy to listen to your opinion. Thanks. Bye.